Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 177. Yes, of On the Backs of Gods. Didn't feel right. Numbers didn't feel right. I'm your DM, Jillian. We have all our players here today. Some of us more here and in my house than others. But we have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Um, uh, Little side note is that it wasn't talked about in game, but Roshan finished his bingo sheet entirely. Bingo sheet fully complete, which means nobody could ever bitch about it being impossible or that it hard. It only took 2 years. It's fine. Uh, Anybody can succeed and has been blessed with a new bingo sheet. Um, Now, I think I'll go ahead and jump into a bit of a recap, and I think we can get started. Last session, the party was
Charge complete.
split. Keld was off on his own, fully intertwined with the forest and making his way towards the lurk. During this time, he also experienced visions, hallucinations, whatever you want to refer to it as. It's unclear if the things he saw are true or not, but had a vision of when he was a child, and the reasoning that he was first ever brought to see the lurk was to save his life after he fell through the ice as a child. And he has a vision of this moment, and that he wasn't going to make it up again. And the creature with the bright eyes in the water that grabbed his ankle, instead of pulling him deeper, pushed him up. And Keld then stumbles into a doll of twisted vine that is the exact size and shape of him, height, shoulder width, and knows that he needs to create like an effigy of himself and something that shows who he is now, someone who is worthy of speaking to the forest. And that is where Keld currently is. Nyx was back at home, having a good time, receives a sending from Roshan, kind of cryptically worded, and is like, hey, I guess we should go after your brother. And Nyx's response is mostly weeping. And because of the strain of all of these back-to-back-to-back emotional moments, the curse, the ice curse that is slowly killing her, has a big surge across her body. And I mean, to put it bluntly, every single thing you roll now has a -5 to it except charisma. And you are vulnerable to many a damage, and and in a bit of a tough spot, also at half HP, I believe. And a lot of other fun, terrible things as ice slowly consumes her body. She stays with her mother during this time, and when left alone, goes and wanders to her grandmother's house, where she hears the weeping that she heard as a child. And she goes to investigate, and a tree opens up before her, the same as when she was transporting all of you between trees, similar but different, and decides what is there to lose and steps through the tree, while Roshan, Fen, and Nana start to search for Keld after Roshan asks the forest politely if they may have safe passage. And Roshan's magic, his sending, is held open by the forest, is gripped by something, so he cannot hang up, and is forced to continue the conversation. And Roshan gives a compelling argument of just like, hey, we're going to make deals. And you are given a sort of kind of a 50-50 from the forest, which seems to be the vibe of, yeah, okay, sure. Start walking forward and we'll see what happens. And it's like, I'll take it. It's the best I can get. I'll take it. And all of you begin to push forward as the three of you are all mentally affected by the forest at this time, at a first level, I believe. You make your way through the woods and eventually stumble in to Water Crimson, which is something you needed to acquire to basically turn an enemy into a friend. And it was also going to acquire you some poison. And, easy enough. You just push some moss into a jar. That's not the case. Two rangers and a chopstick walk into the forest. And as you both try to chopstick one of these Water Crimson into a jar, a nat one, after an avoided nat one earlier, thanks to the help of a shadow, which fully drained Roshan of everything he had. This nat one causes the chopsticks to slip, which are just two spears. It rolls down the shaft, knocks into Nana, and stings her for 1 point of damage. And the pain is near immediate, and she cannot suppress a scream that echoes through the forest. The three of you have 1 round as you hear the foliage begin to shuffle and the sound of scurrying begin to make its way towards you. Nana, you cannot do anything during this time besides scream. So that's what Nana's doing. So it's more of kind of Roshan and Fen. What are you doing? You have 1 round.
So Fen would like to take one of the arrows out of his quiver, and he would like to place it into Nana's mouth so she has something to bite on so she can stop screaming.
Nana, go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw, and we'll see
Cool.
if she has the wherewithal to do this.
Cool. Straight roll? I don't know of any negatives
I
yet.
believe so. I mean, you have disadvantage on skill checks, but I don't think
True. Not on
saving
saving
throws.
throws. Okay. We got. Well, goddamn. 17 on the dice plus 2 is 19. Nana wants to live, apparently. Good.
We're only a D4.
Okie dokie. 3.
21, 20, 19. You rolled a 19?
Yeah, I did. 17 on the dice plus 2.
Okay, I used the D4 to minus from the original save DC. You are still in excruciating pain. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
you do have the wherewithal to bite down onto the arrow. That does not silence you. It is definitely not just like, an open mouth scream now, but you are not silenced. But, it's different. It's not as loud as the shuffling continues forward. Fen, I'd say
It's
that's an
deeply
object
unpleasant to
interaction
hear.
if you want more. If anybody want more.
Probably gonna draw another arrow, knock it on his bow, and just be on guard, hearing the rustling around.
Okay.
I think Roshan would automatically reach in his arsenal for a healing spell and try to say a healing word out loud, fail, and then mutter some profanities to himself as he instead draws his rapier.
Okay. And that's when creatures begin to break through the nearby shrubbery line. I need the 3 of you to roll initiative.
Okay.
Ooh. Not you.
Well, might not be the worst.
I'll probably be the worst with a 6.
Well, last isn't
Probably.
always worst. It depends on the combat. Depends on what's coming your way. Sometimes it's good to have a little time to figure out what's coming down the pipe. I've had to learn this the hard way, being at the back of the line so often in our initiatives. Cultists, you must learn to eat your humble pie and enjoy it.
20 plus?
25.
Ben's never had this problem.
The Fenn's rolled fairly low on initiative occasionally.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to over 20.
15 to 20? 10 to 15?
10.
10?
Mhm.
Okay.
6.
Hmm.
Okay. Then you're first in initiative as you watch a handful of these kind of, honestly, the best way to put it is like gremlins, little gremlin type creatures, like
boy.
deep green and gray skin, warded, pointed ears, just like small but fast bodies making their way in a beeline in y'all's direction. You can see that their faces are kind of like molded and scrunched. They don't have eyes, but they
Oh,
are very now specifically running at all of you.
great.
And you can see that there is some shuffling still in the bushes of things you cannot get like eyes on yet, but you do see 6 of these gremlin-like creatures in the process of running towards you.
Mm.
Okay. With his longbow rather than his new short bow, Fenn's gonna try to put some arrows into 2 of these things. 3 of them actually, because first round of combat.
Okay. 3 different shots.
Yeah. So that's a 21, a 16, and an 11 to hit.
The
Oh
first
no,
2 hit.
sorry. Yeah. Let's stick with that because I didn't count it right, but
I mean,
whatever.
you can tell me what the math actually is.
I did bad because I switched bows. It's fine. I'll take that.
No, what is
And
it? It's why does it even matter? What is it?
it's a
What's the third one?
16 on the second one,
Okay.
23 on the second, or
Third.
yeah,
The first one was the highest one.
yeah.
I'm just
The
trying to
first
get
one's
that
the
last
highest.
one.
Yeah. The last one is a 16.
Okay, then all 3 hit.
Okay.
Allow me to give you one kindness, please.
Okay.
Don't
All right.
assume that you are gonna fail before you're told.
11. 11. 11 damage to one of them, 6 damage to the other, and 8 damage to the third.
Okay. Arrows, thunk, thunk, thunk. 3 arrows, 1 into each of these creatures, and you see that like they're smaller and they take it like it hurts. This is a solid hit on these things. Not, a giant terrible monster in the woods. Little gremlins. And they keep running. Anything else, Fen?
Um, does it sound like we're basically surrounded?
It seems like you're sort of in a horseshoe kind of scenario. It's like they spread out a good bit, but not like enough. They are not strategizing aggressively.
Okay.
They're little gremlins. They're
Um,
blind little
They're
gremlins, but they do have you in a
gremlins.
horseshoe.
Fenn's gonna just stand up next to Nana and look big, just up tall, and hold his or not hold his action, but wait for the next round.
Okay. 6 gremlins bulldoze toward
Neat.
in the same space as basically they just fling themselves at you, ready to attack. You can see that they move incredibly fast and very easily through the environment. and with sharp little hands and jagged little teeth, they begin to just tear into you. Nana, you are currently prone as you have sunken down during this moment. And I think I'm going to start with hitting you, and then we'll move from there. So the first one runs over and is going to attack you with its claws. What is your AC?
It is 19.
Tap that down so I can just bulldoze through this.
I
One
mean,
of them
since
runs
I am
over.
prone, they do get advantage on me.
Yeah, I'm rolling with advantage. Don't worry.
Good. Cool. I just
Don't
want them
worry.
to have their fair share of advantage where
Well,
it
you
is
watch
warranted.
Fen kick one in the face to stop it from using its
Thank
claws
God.
on you, but climbs over his leg and tries to bite you.
Oh no. Jesus Christ. Very aggressive.
That's a nat 20.
Fuck. Okay. Ow.
So let's go ahead and do that real
Insult
quick.
to injury, that one wound up on the arm that Nana got stung by the water crimson.
You're going to take 3 points of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Not that it's gonna matter now, is it, Julian? Oh well.
Well, it's 10 plus 2 is 12.
Okay. Honestly, you barely feel that you are being attacked. To be fair and honest, that's not even a thought you're
That doesn't
having.
hurt like this. This is so much worse.
Bite. Okay. Another claw that just can't make purchase as you're just writhing on the ground, and there's just other bodies, a lot of their bodies in the way of each other. But this one also is able to get a bite. And honestly, I'm going to ignore the con saves for you because it's about to be irrelevant. You take 7 piercing damage from this bite.
Ow.
Another one clambers over its friend and starts aggressively giving you these slashes. See, that's what you like to see. That hits. I can't read it. Oh, good. You take 8 slashing damage from the claws.
Mm-hmm.
And the teeth are also going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
You take 7 piercing damage, as 3 of these things are just kind of like on top of Nana like a blanket and are just trying to rip her apart at this point. As Fen, you're trying to get your like leg between them, and then one of them just like jumps up and is just like on your back and is trying to like dig claws into you and bite at you.
Wow. It's like
that's
that
gonna
80s
hit.
movie. Leprechauns too.
Specifically the sequel.
You take 9 points of slashing damage from the claws.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And then that's going to hit with a 19 on the higher and a 16 on the lower. That'll hit with the teeth.
Those being on Fen or on me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember.
This is Fen now. Fen, you take 6 points of piercing damage. Give me a Constitution saving throw because it does matter for you.
14.
Okay. You can feel that there is some sort of something in their saliva is your assumption.
No.
That there is something that causes some sort of effect in their saliva, but you are currently powering through it.
Boy.
That was one of them. One more for Fen because he actively is like, I'm standing here. Hey, I'm standing here, he says. What's your AC,
myself.
Fen?
I'm sorry, what's that?
What's your AC?
My AC is currently 17.
Okay. One of them jumps onto your back and goes to claw you, and you kind of are able to block it with your bow and like push the hand away as it goes in with the teeth at your shoulder.
Oh.
And it's like you have the bow and you're about to put the arrow, and then you have to push the arrow back. So you have 2 that you're like holding at bay with your weapons. And the third one in this scenario, who's at the far end of the horseshoe, bumps into Roshan's leg.
Oh.
And is like, all right, I'm just here to attack. I want to eat something. And fully just begins to lay into Roshan.
Like a tiny green Roomba.
I'm just going to assume that I hit almost all the time. What's your AC, Roshan?
12.
What?
12.
12.
Your audio sounds not good, but 12. Okay.
A little.
no.
Yeah, it's a little
Like you're
underwater.
underwater. But
Like
I'm
you're
gonna
coming through the wrong mic or something.
but I'm just gonna do you some damage. You don't need to talk to me while I do that. So the claws
Thanks,
are going to
Jillian.
hit.
Appreciate it.
You take 6 points of slashing damage from the claws. And
Ouchie, ouchie.
yeah, that's an 18 on the dice for the teeth as it bites into your leg, and you take 4 piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw.
I got a 9.
Oh, you sound great. Also, you're poisoned. You are now
Love it.
under the poison condition.
Sounding great. Also poisoned.
You may repeat the saving throw at the end of your turns. So you are currently disadvantaged on attacks. That's all the little guys as they just swarm you. It's like you stepped into an anthill and they are just
Great.
charging.
Fun.
And then from the bushes, what looks like 2 bloated versions of these gremlins, which first off, not very big still, but just kind of bloated and a little waddly, start making their way over.
No.
And they can hear where the largest number are gathering.
Oh no.
As they just kind of join in on this
No.
pile. The first one is going to attack Nana. What do you add to that, bud? Okay. Bloated, sharp fingers try to make contact, but it's now just having to like try and push its companions out of the way to try to get to you as it makes a second attack. Oh yeah, it's advantage, not disadvantage, so that one hits. The second attack hits, and you're going to take... And these guys have a bit more mass behind them as they begin to bludgeon.
Oh, good.
You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage. And all of you immediately, maybe not Nana, but the scent of these bloated creatures is horrible. Astronomically terrible. Could not be worse.
Good.
And the second one, Roshan, odds or evens?
Evens.
And it waddles up to Fen. Here he comes, little gremlin. And attacks with his rotten little fists, which hit. You take 12 points of bludgeoning damage from this guy.
I would love to use my reaction to make that half.
Okay, half that one. And you kind of pull back a little bit. Mostly you feel the bile in your stomach beginning to just like rocket up your throat at the scent of these things as he goes in for his second hit. But as you kind of like leaned back, there's 2 on your back that kind of pull you back, and it goes to slice at you, and then you feel the bile rising up, and then you lean forward, and it just swings overhead as you lean forward and vomit. Yeah, they're doing their best. You guys are currently just covered. The best way I can describe this is like, assume everybody is in your area. Everybody, if you step away, everyone gets an opportunity attack. That's the kind of the setup right now. Is that
We're in
every
the
single
whole
thing on the
threatened
battlefield?
square.
Yeah,
The whole
yeah.
thing.
You guys are just sort of in a mass together.
Awesome. It's
Just
a brawl.
a terrible Rat King of a combat.
It's a Looney Tunes like cartoon fight cloud with arms coming out and shit.
All right. Nana, you are up. Roshan, you are on deck. Nana, let's talk a little bit.
Please, what can I do?
You are aware,
Mm.
as I think most people would be, even in agonizing pain, that a bunch of little gremlins are on top of you trying to murder you.
Yes.
That's something that you can at least surmise is like, I feel like I'm dying. Death is coming for me. Also,
and also there are these things trying to make it happen too.
Yeah, there's two things actively trying to kill me: my body and the gremlins. That's how it feels.
Okay.
Well,
so if the gremlins win, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so you are mentally aware enough to try to do something. You are able to try to push through this pain that you do not feel ceasing in any form or fashion. We're kind of under the confused condition is how I'm sort of ruling this. I need you to roll a d10.
All right. Okay. D10 I will do. I'm trying to find the confused condition on my
Don't. I edited it. It's not exactly the same.
It
Or
is
it's
a 3
exactly
on
the
my
same.
D10. Who knows?
3. Okay.
3 on my D10.
The pain is too consuming. You do nothing this turn. As you lay on the ground and you like at this point something is in the cluster. The arrow is knocked from your mouth. Now it's just Nana screaming and a bunch of gremlins also screaming. Just it's a lot of screaming. And Nana can do nothing. That is her turn. Roshan, you are up.
Roshan feels bad and is going to attack the gremlin biting Hileg.
Okay.
Oh boy. So a nat 20 and a 13? Does a 13 hit?
I'm sorry, a 13 does not hit. I'm very
All
sorry.
right, well, that's Roshan's turn.
All right. Roshan pulls out a sword and attempts to start swinging it around his legs and is not able to make contact at this time.
Oh, and I can roll a
can he not move?
con save.
If he wants
And
to
that's a nat
move
1.
away. Okay. If he'd like to move away from the 8 combatants.
No.
No.
He certainly
That is
could.
far more dangerous than staying put.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Fen, back at the top. It's a clusterfuck. What are you doing?
I need a little DM interpretation because these things are crawling on Fen, but I would like to use
some crawling on you, but that doesn't mean you can't, Legolas some bullshit, right? But unless you don't have the thing where it's like, oh, sorry, they're too close, you have disadvantage. I don't know what fancy abilities you got.
Would like to bonus action disengage.
Okay. Disengaging, you would be like shoving them off and moving away.
Okay. And then moving 10 feet back and then shooting a couple of rounds towards the mass.
Okay. Are you picking injured ones?
Yeah,
ones that have arrows in them?
That already look shitty. 2 separate ones.
Okay, so you pick
shitty.
2 and aim for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a dirty 20 and an 18.
Okay, both hit as you start adding to the pin cushion that is these blind little gremlins.
Okay, and one of them will get 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And the other one, within 5 feet of Nana, right?
Everybody is basically within 0 feet of each other besides you.
Cool. 27 points of damage to the other one.
Okay, and you watch as one of them falls, this arrow hitting it right in the base of the skull, and it just right into the water, unmoving.
That's all Fen can do. He's not going to run any further from his friends. So That's where we're at.
Okie dokie. Oh, did I forget a silly little thing? I might. I'll get you next time, Fen. Your turn's over.
Okay.
I'll
That's
get you next
reassuring.
time. Yeah, I'll get you next time. It's fine. It's the little gremlin's turn as Fen moves away. Nana's laying on the ground screaming, and they're like, "Oh, that's a noise I can hear." And they immediately swarm as they were on Nana, who is still prone. Let's see. That's a hit. Okay, that's a hit on the claws with this one. Not a hit on the teeth. You take 7 slashing damage. How are you looking?
Not yet bloodied. Just
Okay.
shy.
The claws miss as these teeth are able to dig into you. You take 6 points of piercing damage. And the next one comes in. Claws miss. Okay. The teeth hit. They had a really good first round. You take another 7 points of piercing damage onto the third one, as it is you are the main focus of the cluster. You are the loudest thing in the area.
Just hit bloodied, so
Okay.
there's that too.
Okay. Claws hit. Teeth crit. Seven on the claws. And then 6 on the bite. And you are just being torn into. Your blood is beginning to mix with that of the water crimson in these little rivulets. That was my third little guy. That was third guy. Fourth guy. Okay, the claws miss, the teeth hit. It's just sort of a bunch of just, if you like lift an arm to try to move, it's just a bunch of like little gremlins dangling from your arm as you try to like kind of shake them off as you writhe in pain. You take 7 points of piercing damage. On to the fifth little guy.
Oh boy. I'm presently at 34 out of 108 hit points, folks.
Isn't the little guy the only other little guy on Roshan because one of them died?
Yeah, one of them is dead.
Okay.
Fifth little guy. And then there's 2 medium guys. Only the claws hit on this guy. Another 7 points of slashing damage. Roshan, you just sort of like look over and you can barely see Nana at this point. It is just mud and gremlins. Mud, blood, and gremlins.
That's a good band name.
Yeah.
Mud, blood, and
right?
gremlins.
That's my bardcore grunge band name.
With their debut
One
album,
of
Crits with the Teeth.
nice. I'm happy for them. One of these bloated monstrosities is going to still attack Nana.
Yeah.
With its little fists. First hits. Second also hits. That's 18s on the dice. And that's going to be oof. 13 on the first hit.
Oh boy, okay.
5 on the second.
That's better.
And then this other little bloated one that you watch is like trying to like sort of like make its way into the group, sort of like a bunch of kittens trying to get at the milk, sort of is volleyed from getting in, bumps into Roshan's leg, And it's like, found it. And then is going to
Neat.
just start clawing at Roshan.
Oh boy.
Not with advantage, Jillian. Oh, yes, with
Yeah.
advantage. You're poisoned. Do I get advantage? How does poison work?
I don't think you get advantage when
Yeah,
I'm
you just
poisoned.
have disadvantage. But
Yeah.
what if? Oh, that's a 1. This dude just kind of like bumps into you and he's trying to get arms on you, but his own body is awkward and round and large, and it just can't get a good angle to slice at your legs. That is their turn. That is the volley of little guys. And you can hear rustling in the bushes. Nana, roll a d10.
Here we go. As she say, a 5.
You do nothing this turn.
Can't even stand up, huh?
No, the creature doesn't move or takes actions this turn. You lay on the ground screaming.
Yeah. Screaming and bleeding.
Are these, did you say these things were blind?
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed they are.
Cool.
That is Nana's turn. Roshan, you are up.
I think Roshan's gonna try some bullshit as he stabs and say, we are here to speak to the Lady of the Forest. Let us pass, and then he'll stab.
Let me pass, or else. And then you, are you stabbing the one that's bothering you?
I think I will stab one of the
An injured
ones
one?
that's already damaged.
Okay, you go for a one that you see has 2 arrows sticking out of it.
Yeah. And does a 15 hit?
A 15 does hit as Roshan
Yay.
stabs something.
I've done it for maybe the first time with this rapier. And I do 4 damage.
Okay.
Ooh, cheeky.
This thing looks rough. You like stab sort of like into the clavicle and like you're like, you've never stabbed anything before.
It's not what I usually do.
It's not my
and
specialty.
You're like, that probably hurt. It looks bad, but it is still standing. And anything else, Roshan?
Unless there is a role associated with Roshan's conviction, no.
You can roll for poison.
Con save. Yeah. Oh gosh. That's a 14.
Okay, you're no longer poisoned as you stab something and the bloodlust kicks in, and you're like, okay, I'm focused.
Huzzah! I'm angry.
I'm doing something. Just the adrenaline of doing something. You are focused. That is the end of your turn, Roshan. Nyx. You step through the tree. And you are presented sort of a liminal space for a moment, a liminal space of the forest, of darkness, of unending, expanding nature before you that seems infinite and familiar and unfamiliar. And you hear the sounds in one direction of a man quietly walking through snow, the sound of a clacking pot being set on the ground. No urgency. It's a sound you've heard before. There's no worry or haste to these actions. You hear Keld. And in the other direction, you hear the sound of screaming, the sound of rending flesh and the splash of water, the sound of arrows hitting flesh. Nyx, which direction would you go in? You know what's in both directions.
Mm-hmm. Keld sounds fine. I'll go towards the fight.
Okay,
He sounds calm.
he does.
Yeah.
Nyx, roll initiative.
Helps begrudgingly.
9.
Okay. That puts you here. So Nyx will get to you in a minute.
I gotta
Ben,
walk to
you
make it.
are you hear the sound of rustling bushes, and Nana's just swarmed by a bunch of gremlins.
Cool. The one that's got 2 arrows in it and a stab wound already.
Yeah.
Gonna try and finish that little bitch off.
Okay.
It's a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Cool. For 8 points of damage.
Stabs through his head entirely, and you watch the body start to slack, and then something in its bones just refuses to die as it holds on to that last hit point, and it stays up. He,
Ben's gonna let that slide for now. And
you wait your turn.
what is, I mean, he's earned it. He's earned the reprieve of not the second attack. And he's gonna take aim at one of these, one of the medium-sized ones, one of the
Okay.
the
One of
stanky
these
ones.
bloated ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a that's a yeah 30 to hit.
Yeah, that
Okay.
hits.
All right. And that'll do 29 points of damage.
Oof. Okay.
As long as it's specifically within 5 feet of somebody. And if
Everybody
it's
is within.
okay.
They're
Yeah,
all.
if it's
They're
not,
all
if
in
it's
the
not, then
cluster.
it's considerably less damage.
Ouch. An arrow sinks into it, and you watch as just like a dark spore-like gas begins to just like seep out of the wound, and it's like it's deflating. It is still up and going, but very damaged.
Okay. Ben's gonna back up another 10 feet from the gaggle, and
Okay.
that'll be the end of his turn. Backing up in a direction he presumes to be safe. Like
Okay.
you said, there's more rustling. He's not gonna like go backwards towards the
Goes into the
ominous
bush,
sounds.
guys. Me next. Okay.
Yeah.
That
You,
is Fenn's turn.
full disclosure, you owe me a thing, whatever you need to do on Fenn's turn.
It's okay. I'm gonna do something else.
Okay.
I could do a
that's
thing.
somehow more
I'm gonna.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. I'll still do something. It'll just be a little different. Um, you can owe me later. Okay. Every nasty little gremlin is going to continue to what it's been doing, which is try to obliterate, try to find something to feast upon. It is apparent looking at these things that they're not corrupted entities. You're not sure if they are the same vein of thing as the cloak creature you encountered. They seem more natural than that. Like a naturally occurring pest. Something that is not made by the hag and is not made by corruption, just through time. And they're gonna rip Nana apart. Let's start going. 1 hit point guy, let's go. He misses. And he hits with the teeth. Everyone trying to get a little taste of meat before the rest of them get their fill. You take 6 points of piercing damage. And then the next one. What are we looking at?
3 hit points out of a maximum of 108.
How nice. Well, the first claw misses because I can't hit both anymore. You roll ones when they're necessary. And I roll 20s. You go down. As this one is able to get a bite into your shoulder and just begins to shake its head violently, and you fall unconscious.
That's a mercy
Roshan,
at this point.
next to you, stabs one of them and it screeches, which does, lucky for you, Roshan was able to hit, does draw some focus from you, and you are no longer screaming.
Yeah.
You
I'm
stopped
no
screaming.
longer screaming.
Pain is gone.
Yay!
I do want you to, because golly, isn't it funny? Roll me a luck check, though. The DC is
Funny.
incredibly low.
When has
but
that
not
ever
nothing.
done me any favors? The luck check. Well, funny enough, it's a 13 on the dice.
Okay. Lucky for you, you die quietly.
Cool.
Roshan, prepare for the rest of the skiddly bops. So that was 2 of them. Nana. Third one. Claws hit. Teeth crit. Claws. You take 5 slashing damage and 6 piercing damage. No, 6. 8 piercing damage. I can't disregard this guy's crit. He earned it. The next guy, moving down the line. It's a 1 and a 6 on the dice. So those miss. Oh, stop rolling with advantage. You didn't on the first guy. Get your shit together. I'll let him take his 1 on that other one, though. That's another 1. Moving on to the next guy. The claws hit, the teeth do not. You take 9 points of piercing damage as half the swarm kind of begins to move in your direction and begins to try to scurry up your body.
Love that.
What are we looking at now?
I'm almost bloodied, but Roshan's
Hey, look
great.
at you. This guy's a frontlines fighter.
Yeah, with 1 attack. But
With
I
1
did
attack.
roll a con save for the poison, and I rolled a 3.
Oh, I thought we unpoisoned you. I thought
If
you succeeded the one before, right?
this was for if I had to roll another one for the crit bite. Unless I'm immune.
Oh my God. Let's see. Let's see.
He could be immune.
He could be. I'll defer to the writing.
It will say it in the attack if so.
It'll say you're immune for 24. The creature is on a success, the effect on the creature is no longer poison. Okay. Yeah, you're poisoned.
Oh no, my other leg.
It's so hard to wield a sword.
How do they do it?
It's
how
such
do
hard
they
work.
do
Oh
it?
God.
How does Kel do it? That's gonna be a hit. These terrible little fists.
Terrible little gerblins.
I'm sorry, what word did you say?
Gerblins. The
Oh,
Knuckle Boys
God.
tried to warn us there'd be gerblins, and there are.
Thought you somehow said the name of these creatures. It was like, holy shit, that's crazy. That's
I'm not
wild.
gonna look it up because that'd be cheating, but I'll have to look it up after game, I guess.
9 points of damage to you, Roshan, from these terrible little fists, these bloated hands, giving
Hate
you
it.
the skiddly bops. The second one missed, and that other one didn't roll good. That's all he can do.
Yeah, the skibbity.
That's fine. Okay. Nana, give me a death saving throw. And you know what? You can say the number out loud.
Oh,
That works
can
for
I?
me right now. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Nifty.
Yeah.
She's feeling spicy.
Just
Yeah,
feeling spicy.
Tell the people.
Well, this one is a 16.
Okay. That's one success.
She's bleeding, but she's not dead yet.
Roshan and Fen, you watch as one of the trees makes like this terrible cracking sound as it is split open, and like it's not a light that spills through, but it is darkness presenting in that way. Beams of dark energy that kind of seep through the tree as Nyx, coated so heavily in ice that has made its way across her neck and her face, her arm frozen stiff at her side, makes her way and steps through the tree. Nyx, you see the scene before you, the limp body in the water, and these monsters just swarming. What do you do?
I'm gonna activate my symbiotic entity to have health because most
Makes
of
sense.
mine's gone. And I can see Nana on the ground. I'm assuming
You can make an assumption that it's Nana.
I can see a person's body on the ground.
Yeah. And you can see Fen and Roshan not. But like the amount of entities around this body is a bit staggering.
Great. I'll send a very low level healing word your way, Nana. You'll get that's 10 health back.
Holy shit.
So stumble forward towards them.
Cool. Next, you pull yourself forwards and immediately send this energy out towards Nana. What does your tell me about your fancy symbiotic entity?
I think now it's just like this huge swarm of spores around her that helps to block things. So normally it's much softer, but they're real heavy because things are bad for her.
And you can see some of them glow and try to join in and assist, but are stuck in the ice.
Yeah.
Some of them are also trapped.
Yeah,
But a
spores
large
are huge.
swarm begins to circle around you and protect you. Anything else, Nyx?
That's all I can do.
Okay, Roshan.
I think Roshan is watching Nana fall and says, fuck, fuck. And then the tree cracks and he says it again and he just stabs. And is the one that got stabbed, and is that one still standing?
Only one thing has fallen, so yes.
Oh my God. Well, whichever is looking worst off.
There's a dude with an arrow fully like diagonally through his head, so you can attack him if you'd like to.
Yeah, that one.
He seems pretty rough.
Woof. And probably a miss at an 11.
As you watch Nyx appear, she's sort of like,
Oh, what?
it kind of goes and stabs into the face, but it hits the shaft of the arrow, and it's like too precise that it does not cause any life-threatening damage, more than that arrow did.
Yeah. I think Roshan is just muttering fuck words to himself and panicking.
Yeah.
One of their singles would be fuck words. Uh, go ahead and roll me your con save to see if you are no longer poisoned.
Ah, yes. That is a 4.
Okay, poisoned and poisoned. Fen, you are up.
Ben would like to loose an arrow in the direction of the one that is improbably still standing.
Yeah.
Let's let's hope this is the last of him. 19 to hit.
19 hits. You don't need to roll damage.
Okay.
As
Let him go. Let him be
the
in
arrow
peace.
the opposite way, as it is turned and it just and then is down and out. That is 2 of the enemies felled.
All right. And the fat fuck that I shot last time.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, go for it.
17 to hit.
17 hits.
Cool. That's reassuring. Uh, 23 points of damage.
This arrow hits it square in the belly button. Boom, and it explodes in the center of the mass. I need Roshan. Let me double check my stuff for Nana real quick. Causes okay. Disadvantage. Okay, so I need dexterity saving throws from everybody in the Rat King circle. Nana, you have disadvantage as you wake up, and then this thing explodes as pain immediately racks through your body again.
Oh, cool. It was a dexterity saving throw with
Yep.
disadvantage? Okay.
Yep.
Well,
I'm not in this
Oh.
area, right? Okay. Right.
that is a 14 for me.
14 for me too.
Phew.
Oh.
Isn't that neat?
Hopefully all their
Poison!
friends fail.
Yeah, they're gonna do their best. Okay. You resist this horrible smell that like you were able to like cover yourself in time to prevent any of it getting in your nose and your mouth. Nana, you just luckily just turned your head in time and just scream into the water and avoid the original shock of this. Let's roll con saves for the little boys. His bloated friend does not need to, but his other friends do. What's your con? Good. Okay. Let's do the dice and read. Success. Okay. Failure. 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 They're going to take damage. Oofy, ouchie, jeez Louise. Okay. Well, geez.
I hope Jillian kills more of her own little guys than we do.
That might be funny.
I certainly helped.
Yes, and we appreciate that. By golly, by gum, me and my ass just screaming on the ground.
One of them is almost immediately ripped apart by the bone shrapnel that comes from this thing because it was just right on top of it, almost immediately killed by it. The rest of them just have like bones and like just nasty bloated skin like sticking out of them and seemed content to still keep doing what they're doing, but now just look like little bone pin cushions. and they have a bunch of other shit happening to them, I'm gonna say, oh, one of you succeeded. Let's roll a d4 to see if it's actually a helpful one that is not fucked up like this. Okay. So you're still at full health. Everybody else got their shit rocked. Well, poisoned. Okay. Egg on my face. That is Fen, is there anything else?
No, that's the end of Fenn's turn this round.
Okay.
He's gonna assess with his bonus action, like, oh shit.
Huh.
Yeah, that was a big boom.
That was a big boom.
Yeah. That is
Nana's
Fen's
presently
turn.
screaming into the water, just bubbles coming up from around her face.
And now that we have a screaming combatant back on the field, some of these
fuck.
guys are going to avert their gaze towards Nana,
Yeah.
who is still prone.
Yeah. She came back from death and was rattled and riddled with agony. So here we
Okay.
are.
So I'm going to roll a d4. The number is mine to know. That's how many of these 4 are going to focus on Nana. And it is what it is. Okay. The first one attacks Nana.
Okay.
Claws. Okay. Its claws miss. It goes. And its teeth miss.
Oh. Having a hard time getting at me in the water.
Nix, these guys suck. These little creatures seem bad at combat, and you just came over and everybody's dying. The second one is going to come over. Okay, it hits with the teeth. For 8 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
And the rest are going for Roshan.
Damn.
I was. That's fine. Not advantage. Too excited. It's still an 18 on the dice, but not advantage. That's the claws. You take 7 slashing damage.
Ow.
Ow, he said.
Ouchies.
And as the teeth, you kind of like sort of stab the rapier into one of their mouths to sort of prevent them from biting into you. As the next one, who seems less impeded than the others, avoiding all this bone shrapnel,
Great.
makes his way over to you. Does that make him hit? Not really. He hits with his bite as his teeth dig into you. It like you push one of them back with the rapier, and then that just exposes your arm as one of them goes in and bites in. It's only 1d6. Again. You take 7 points of piercing damage. You're still poisoned anyways, so there's no need for rollies on that. That's them. And then the big bloated one, Roshan. Evens or odds?
Evens.
This one, as you like push your arm forward, one of them digs in and bites into your arm. This one goes to do the same thing, and it is volleyed backwards, and it hears the screaming and turns focus back to Nana. It's going to make its attacks on a prone body. The first attack misses as it goes, and its claws like dig into the mud next to your face, and it just pulls a chunk of mud and just sends it flying into the air as it goes with its second. There you go. Hits with the second claw.
I will say I don't think it really matters what you roll for damage. I'm at 2 hit points.
Listen.
That's fair. Maybe he'll only
its
roll one.
minimum is above that, even if it rolled once.
Okay.
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 As this one digs claws in and just kind of like pushes you into the water, and your head knocks
Oh.
against a rock buried beneath,
Oh, fuck.
and you are pushed back into darkness. But that is their
Merciful.
turns. Nana, death saving throw. You may say it out loud.
You got it, Hoss. Oh boy. Here we go. Ooh. That's a 3.
Okay, that's one failure.
Yep.
Nyx, you are up. Roshan, you're on deck.
Keep walking forward. Sees Nana fall again. Is gonna bring him back. I have first level spells.
And you could be at the mass if you want to. The tree was very polite in its placement, where you could get there in a turn.
Well, so my
if you were so inclined.
My question is, would I be able to position myself to use Thunder Wave in a way where it won't hit Nana and hit things? I don't care if it hits the other two that are still up.
I would say, yeah, there's a way for you to do it without hitting Nana. You can't hit all of the things, but there's no way you can do it without hitting Roshan then. You'd either have to hit Nana or Roshan.
Sorry, Roshan.
It's okay.
I mean,
I'm sure he won't hold a grudge.
Nah, not at all. Sure. I'll do a third level Thunder Wave then. It's Constitution saving throws for however many of the people are around me.
Did you say you healed, or you're not doing that?
I'm not gonna do that then.
Okay. I was just like, my brain was trying to do math. Cool.
No.
Okay. What am I doing?
Constitution saves.
Okay. I'm going to say you can certainly.
It's a 15-foot cube.
Yeah, I'm gonna say just because it's so squidgy. Roll me a d4. It's only fair to let the dice decide and not me.
It says 1.
Okay, so you're only hitting 2 of them.
Okay.
2 out of the 4.
Still
Con
worth it.
save?
Yeah.
No. 2 failures. And Roshan, con save.
Come on, bud.
Fail.
Oh,
wow. Well,
Lux has a very high spell save
I'm
DC.
sorry.
She does. I'm sorry. I'm so good at magic.
Is the only person who currently can really do magic at this time.
Yes. Yes. Accurate. Yes.
That's 26 thunder damage.
And they turn into mist. Those 2 gremlins are immediately eviscerated.
Fantastic.
Cool.
And Roshan passes out.
Well.
Also falls back.
Amazing.
I'll wake him up in a bit. It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay.
We've
That's
all
all.
got good berries.
All right. Nyx, anything else?
Let me double check these bonus actions that I never have.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus action, you said.
There aren't many. Let's see.
Not everybody's blessed with the joy of useful bonus actions.
Yeah, this one. No, this one not worth it.
No,
I'm done.
Okay. All right. That is Nyx's turn. Roshan, death saving throw. You can say it out loud too.
I rolled exactly a 10, so 1 save.
1 success. All right, back at the top of the initiative. Fen, you are up.
Can I request an assessment and overall what's going on?
I'd love to tell you about the cluster.
The clusterfuck, if you will.
The first thing that hits you is the coppery smell of blood and the sweet, horrific smell of rot is the current vast assessment as you see the bits and pieces of these gremlins everywhere. You see that 2 of the smaller gremlins still in play. One of them looks fine. One of them looks like it was not hit. One of them looks pretty rough. And then there's another one of those like bloated medium ones that also looks very fine. You can roll me insight real quick. Actually, you can roll me insight or survival. I'd also take survival on this. DC will
One of
be
those is
higher with survival, but
it's a 17 on the die, so survival, that's gonna add 10, 12.
there you
That's
go.
12, so 30.
Okay.
29.
They're beginning to look a little spooked, and the sound of rustling does not seem like it's getting closer. They are still in play and actively like at the party, but they are not showing as aggressive emotions. They seem to be kind of like, they seem concerned as they can't hear a lot of their companions anymore.
Okay, so
That's
there's
what you notice.
3 of them, but they're all kind of centered around Nana's fallen body, and nothing's on Roshan.
They are
Nothing's on.
basically, I would say they are in the same spot together, Nana and Roshan, including those 3 monsters. Nyx is approaching, but is not part of that mix.
Okay. Fenn's gonna aim at the 2 that look. He's gonna aim at the 2 small ones, the damaged
Okay.
one and the one that doesn't look especially damaged.
One of them isn't, 2 of them are not damaged at all. The medium one and one of the small ones. One of them is damaged.
Okay. Gonna take the first shot at the damaged one.
Okay.
And it's a dirty 20 to hit.
Yes.
And 10 points of damage.
It is still standing as this arrow
Cool.
kind of fully like one of its arms is just ripped off by this arrow.
Cool. Same target.
Okay.
Oh, 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Cool. And that will be 7 points of damage.
It's still standing.
Well, that sucks. Ben's gonna slide in, use his movement to slide in, and can he bonus action like shove something? Like
No.
Okay. But slide in on the slippery, water crimson covered stones and just kind of be in between Nana and the things that are looming.
Okay. You want to make noise? You want to be loud?
Sure. He can probably slip some expletives in there. Be like,
Sure. You take up where Roshan left off by cursing.
Yeah.
And you step back into the fray.
Shit, piss, fuck, cock, some other mother like tits.
And then your turn was over. Yep, all of them are going to attack you. Everything else is pretty quiet and on the ground. You come in and make noise, and they're going to continue to attack. They've made this choice. They've made their bed and will lie in it. What's your AC, just so I can bulldoze through this?
17.
Okay. Okay, the claws miss. The bite misses on the first one, too. Nat 20 on the claws on this one. And then a 17 on the dice for the bite. So these ones are going to hit. Let's double this. That's rough. That's rough. You take 18 points of slashing damage
I would
from
love
the
to half
claws.
that.
Yes. And then You take 6 from the bite. I need a Constitution saving throw.
All right. Only a 7 on the Constitution saving throw, so I'm pretty sure I'm poisoned.
I didn't hear what number, but I believe in you.
Yeah, I'm poisoned. I'm poisoned. 6.
Out of 10. You are now poisoned. And then big boy over here is going to throw 2 hands. Only one of them is going to hit. You take 11 points of bludgeoning damage. As these things are just like, all right, move in. And they seem to just be like trying to go for like, as big of a mouthful of arm flesh, leg flesh as they can try to get their teeth around. They are trying to pick up scraps and go, and you are the thing making noise. That is their turn. Nana, death saving throw out loud, please.
Oh. It's a nat 1.
Was your one before a failure?
Yeah.
Okay. Nana is dead. Nyx, it's your turn.
Wait. I have a thing. And I feel like now is the time for that thing.
Held is the only remaining character to allow a friend to re-roll. Nana, you may re-roll with Keld's inspiration. You just have to not get a 1 again.
See what we can do, gang. Okay. It's a 17.
Okay, that's a success. And Keld has been holding on to it, and it's a good thing he did. All right. Nyx, it's your turn.
Well,
There are 3 entities still moving. One of them looks awful, but like they are pretty mixed in with Roshan and Nana. There's no way to avoid hitting them with an AoE at this time.
Okay. Well, we'll bring...
Actually, you couldn't avoid all of them because everybody's in that space now.
Nice. This time we'll bring Nana back.
I've seen the future.
Okay. You only get 9 this time.
That's fine. Good.
And we'll use a cantrip for... You said there's a damaged one?
Yeah, there's one that's real hurt.
Constitution saving throw for him.
What's the minimum damage you can do? Or does it's cantrip, doesn't matter. I might succeed.
Yeah.
I might just succeed.
You might succeed.
Your save is
20.
20.
It's a 20.
Correct?
Yeah.
So he needs to get a crit. Let's go, boys. What spell did you use?
Frostbite.
And it freezes up and shatters on impact. It is
Hallelujah.
Anything else, Nyx?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Roshan, death saving throw.
I got a nat 1.
Okay, that's 2 failures. Don't do like me! Stop it! So Roshan has 1 left. Roshan succeeded
He's
his other
fine.
roll.
He's still alive.
Yeah, he's not dead yet, but he could be. I don't have any more inspiration. Okay, that's Roshan's turn. Fen, you're up.
I would like to bonus action disengage from anything around me and
Okay.
shove a good berry into Roshan's mouth and do the...
Oh, you don't even have to disengage to do that. You can just drop down next to him. He's right there.
Cool. That's my action then. Shove a good berry into his mouth and bonus action actuate his jaw. Just make him chew. Like,
Yum, yum, yum.
this is delicious.
Isn't this great? 1 hit point for Roshan. Okay. That's Fenn's turn. Here we go. All conscious entities in the space. Roll intimidation.
I got a 9, which isn't that one.
Oh, Fenn froze on the cutest little face, though.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
he's back.
Oh,
You're
there he
back.
is.
I'm
Yay.
here.
That's
Did
good.
somebody call me cute?
Yeah,
You
you
were
froze on like a
frozen on
little
a
smiley
very
face. It was real cute.
expression. It was great.
It was
Okay.
really good.
Thanks.
And what'd you get on your intimidation?
14, apparently. That's the best you can do when you're as cute as me. Oh.
Yeah,
And what
you
did
know,
we get, Nix?
baby face.
12.
Okay, so 12 is our middle if I'm being polite. That's not enough. I'm going to keep attacking. And I know
Not
I'm
scary
pushing it,
enough.
but you guys can fight me later. Piss your pants. See if I care. It is now my turn. Nana is back and screaming.
Am I? I did get brought up.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm about to change that, but
Oh, yes, that is true. Yes, that is true. Yeah, never mind.
well, not on the first attack, I'm not. Okay, second attack, I am then. The bite.
Charge
You
complete.
take 4 points of piercing damage,
All righty.
and this other guy is gonna come give you the skiddly bops.
Yep. Because I do be screaming.
Okay, that hits. How many hit points you got left?
I have 5.
Okay. And once again, bludgeoned into unconsciousness.
This can't be good for her.
No. But I will be attacking your corpse.
Yep.
With my final attack. Nothing else has my focus. Okay. You watch this thing lean in and it's trying to almost it's like, I'm going to take a body part and leave. Like, it's like, I got to get out of here. And you watch it just grab onto Nana's the leathers on her shoulder and is like, I did it. And is just ripping that asunder and does not seem to know that it is missing the flesh entirely.
Oh, thank God.
That is their turns. Nana, death saving throw.
You got it, boss. Who? Well, it's a 6.
Okay, that's a death failure.
Yep.
Nix, it is your turn. There is one thing. Well, there's 2. He almost looks scratched out. There's 2 things standing.
Mhm.
Well, we'll frostbite
Both
them
of them
again.
look pretty good.
We'll frostbite one of them again. So Constitution save for the one nearest Nana, I guess.
They're all there.
Yeah.
Do you want the smaller one or the bigger one?
Go small.
Okay, con save. And it has to be nat 20s. So no, it fits.
Ooh. Oops. 11.
Okay.
And says it also has disadvantage on its next weapon attack roll it makes. Whatever that refers to.
Whatever that mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Anything else, Nix?
Gosh, I'd rather you not die. So we'll use another first level spell for Nana.
You could.
Okay.
You could find a good
I'm sorry,
burial
your
pocket.
dice say that this is very possible that you're going to
That's
roll
true.
a one again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Okay. How many hit points?
You need to have a disc.
you get 9 more again.
All right.
Good luck.
Nine.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna scream again, but thank you.
You're welcome.
And Roshan, you are at 1 hit point and alive.
I'm alive. I think Roshan is in one last ditch attempt is going to yell at these creatures in a very threatening voice and say, "Leave or perish," and try to intimidate them.
Yeah,
Okay.
get him.
Use your action to intimidate.
Wow, I got a 19.
Hell yeah, bud.
Okay. I am going to let them roll against this with advantage because y'all's group intimidation was bad.
Yeah.
So they are going to try to resist this with a little wisdom. And you said 19?
Yeah.
Yeah. They need 18s
Ooh.
on one of their dice. Roshan, you bow up, pulling yourself up from the mud, just kind of like slicked down the side, and you tell these things to leave. And you watch them shrink for a moment. They listen for the sounds of their companions there to bolster them. And there are none, as no more have joined into the fray, and the sound of rustling bushes has gotten quiet. And they are intending to run. If anybody wishes to stop them, that is up to you, but they are now fleeing. That is their intent. Does anybody try to stop them?
Do you think they would turn around if I gave them a little poke in the behind on the way out?
Probably.
Okay, then I won't.
With a higher intimidation, I would have been like,
Sure.
yeah, why not? But
Okay.
and one of them scampers away quickly, and you watch as this large, undamaged one thinks about it for a second, and then begins to waddle its way after its friends in the sound of the rustling that's slowly dying to flee the combat. And that's where we're going to take our break. Our late little break. Thank you guys. Go get a break. You go, take a moment as we rally from this combat. Go get a snack and a drink, and we'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Tim.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. We just finished a beautiful combat where we don't think about what would have happened if Nyx had decided not to join the team and had gone to see Keld. But everyone is conscious? Is that where we are? All right, everyone's conscious. And the first thing you all notice is Nana uncontrollably screaming. The thing is, actually, Mac, a kindness, you've fallen unconscious and back so many times. Give me a Constitution saving throw. You need a nat 20.
See what we can do. It's a 19.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Then irrelevant.
Yep.
Nana is screaming. Nyx is part of the party. What are we doing?
Fen hobbles over to Nana and sticks another good berry in her mouth.
I'm going to say, Nana, you can't consume a good berry.
I think I am fully occupied.
While actively screaming, can't good berry.
Wailing and gnashing of teeth, my dude. Watch your fingers. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to voice this because I will blow out my mic. I'm sorry. She's just screaming.
Fen kneels beside Nana, bleeding, hoping to do something, and accomplishes nothing.
I think Roshan would, after getting his clock rung, tries to blink it out and sees Nyx and explains, I think it's the Water Crimson.
I'll go over and attempt to look her over. Medicine.
Okay. Give me a medicine check.
With my minus
Is it
5.
disadvantage and -5?
You know, probably.
This is just my assumption.
Everything except charisma, I think it was. Oh.
No, this is just sad that the nat 20 doesn't count. It's 5, 11 plus 10. It's still 21, but
With
It
the
could have
-5?
yes, because it
Wow.
was 16.
Because you have
minus
very
5
good
plus
medicine.
10. Yes. Jesus.
You're now poisoned.
I've been poisoned
and
the whole time.
it only lasts for a minute.
Yeah. Back to
Poison condition. Now you're back at it. You were poisoned, and then it's like up, and I'm back in it. You were not out of it for very long.
Yeah.
Like I
you're
wasn't out of death for very long.
You were currently poisoned, but with that high of a medicine check, looking around at the plethora of Water Crimson, like it is much larger than was described to you. And you don't know if that was a failure on Calendula's behalf or these are like roided up, you know? It's one or the other. That the growing conditions here are just so fruitful that they have grown way past the normal size. Also, so you can assume probably Water Crimson, even though everybody else, you know, watched it happen, can very much assume so. Your knowledge, once again, of Water Crimson is minimal. You know, it can be made into poisons. It seems to actively be like wrecking. Nana, you see that there seems to be no slowing down. She seems to even struggle to honestly do anything or exist, make choices, move forward. It seems difficult. Nana, you gotta do something to make this pain stop. Fen, I'm just describing something. Give me a minute, and then I'll let you jump in. This is not taking up in-game time. This is the ether slowly describing.
We're describing the panoply here.
Nyx, this is your assumptions. You've never really encountered Water Crimson, so you only can go on assumption and the vague things you were told. How to fix Water Crimson? Well, you're sure enough, maybe a high enough level spell. Magic can fix a world of hurt. Also, it seems that it is a temperamental plant. It only grows in very specific climates. Maybe harsh something could possibly neutralize. You are unsure. And once again, that would be definite damage to the host. Like you would think like an aggressive amount of damage to the host to do something. Also, you think if you got rid of the afflicted area, that'd probably work. Nyx would just have to think of something to try. That's kind of where you're at, is you can try things.
I mean, I can't really weigh in on much, I don't think. I will attempt as dice rolls allow me, but I don't think I can contribute much.
Nana, I need you to take off your arm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Nana's got, what do I got? I've got my short sword. I've got my dagger.
Yeah, which one are you
short
reaching
sword.
for? What's first?
It's probably the short sword.
Nana reaches for her short sword while screaming. Now, what are other people doing?
Yep.
I would like to intervene and try something. I don't know if it's
Sure.
going to work, but it's not going to involve Nana cutting her arm off, at least not immediately. Fen has one piece of chalk left. He would like to crush it up and like hope that calcium in some way can neutralize this. Like, I think that as a ranger, there would be various like poison ivy type things that he would know that chalk, calcium introduction to that would help neutralize certain venoms.
Sure.
I'm not sure that's going to help, but he's not going to let Nana take her fucking arm off.
Well, the only way you're even going to get to do either of those things is with a grapple check. Fen, you have to roll athletics. Nana, you can roll athletics or acrobatics. Nana, you have disadvantage on any roll ever, is your current state.
That tracks. I'm gonna do athletics to contest that at my disadvantage.
Yeah, Fen gets a 13.
Is that your highest? Is athletics higher than acrobatics?
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
All right, what do we got?
13.
My disadvantage is an 8.
Okay. Ben, you currently have like Nana pinned down and like the sword is like pinned to the ground and you're actively like crunching up chalk and like putting it on the wound.
Give me a second.
Currently not doing anything, but Nana is not actively cutting off her arm at this time. So that's
just screaming.
Yep.
Just screaming.
Any other suggestions? Anyone?
I'll relay what I know.
Anyone have any
not much.
charcoal? That charcoal also, if it doesn't work with chalk, sometimes it's charcoal that does it something.
I don't even
Nyx, you know you're dealing with it's almost as if this plant said fuck you to nature and the natural order of things. This is equal magic as it is plant. It is a beast of a thing.
I don't have any magic I can do to help her right now.
We can't keep doing this.
Start looking for plants that might help.
Fen, go ahead and give me athletics. Nana, also give me athletics. Yours is a disadvantage.
Yep.
8.
Buddy. Well, with disadvantage, you don't deal with the nat 20, but you do deal with the 14 plus 5, which is a 19.
Yeah, Fenn had the shit kicked out of him, so he's
Yeah.
he didn't go unconscious, but he did not do well in that last combat.
Yeah.
Nana, roll
That
damage
understand.
with your sword, please.
Gotcha. Sorry, Fen. Ooh, 9 points of slashing damage, bud.
How many hit points do you have, Nana?
I've got 9.
Nana tries to cut her own arm off in this moment. That 9 is not for Fen.
Oh.
As you try to, like, you're like, this is the only way. You can't think
Yeah.
past that. And you are already too woozy. You do not have enough focus to get through your arm. Nana falls unconscious again.
Yeah.
And the screaming stops.
Great. Can we just stabilize her instead of bringing her back up?
You can try to. It's a medicine check.
I'd love to try that instead.
Fenn's already rifling through Nana's pockets for another good berry. Just to have one just in case.
Mm. That's no.
What do we got?
Let's see. Well, 5 minus 5, and then plus 10. So 10?
Nana's stabilized.
Oh,
It's a DC 10.
Cool. Cool.
thanks, Di, for not being lower than 5.
Nana is unconscious. A strong wind. I'm going to say I'll kill her dead. You know, that's where I am at this moment. But the screaming stopped, and Nana is fully out. Will wake up at some point, probably not too long from now, but is for now unconscious.
I think Roshan takes a second to process what's going on and sees Nana breathing at least steadily, and says, if she wakes up with that, it'll be the same, won't it?
I think so.
I don't know how close we are to Keld. And Roshan will grab the ring and give it to Nyx.
You just like put it on.
Nyx holds out her hand for you to put the ring on her, as she only has one function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll awkwardly put it on while trying not to look at her in the eye, and then say, either we try to carry Nana, which I don't know if any of us could do, or she loses the arm.
No, I'll carry her.
Can you, Fen?
I can't take her arm, not with her like this. She can't agree to that. She's not in any shape to agree to it. Nyx, what have you been doing here? You look as bad as any of us, and you weren't even in that.
I have to be. I was brought back, so.
How did you get here? What?
We,
You barely look
figure
like
out
you can
Nana
move.
first. We should get her weapons from her. Make sure there's something in her mouth. If we're carrying her, make sure her mouth's like covered or something.
Roshan, can you take her spears? Sword, the
Yeah.
dagger.
Yeah, Roshan will produce a piece of fabric to bind her mouth with. So if she's going to wake up screaming, at least she'll be gagged.
Okie dokie. And you're moving forward?
I can take her over my shoulder. Maybe
Nix,
I got it.
how?
do you need help walking, Nix?
Sure.
Roshan will attempt to help.
Be her crutch.
Okay. All of you start to meander forwards.
So,
Fen, go
hold
ahead and
on.
give me
I'm gonna
strength.
turn around.
Yeah,
Look at that water crimson real fast.
Nix pushes her shot away and looks back at the water crimson. And you see this jar just
honestly.
laying on its side.
You
in a
Can I
failed
see
attempt.
so many jars dropped on the floor.
Can I just zhuzh it in with some shape water real fast?
Yeah, 100%. It takes you 6
Fantastic.
seconds
Get
to
in the
put
Thank God.
per
Thank
jar.
God for
it
you.
depends how many jars you want to fill.
I mean, that's barely any
There's
time. Let's just.
There's a bunch on the ground.
Yeah. I mean, you do end up like ruining like the length of most of the water crimson. There's one that's like pristine.
He didn't
But,
say anything about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was
he can
no
have the one
specifics.
pristine one, whatever. But
Yeah, you have a. I'm gonna say.
How many?
Okay, you have 5 jars of water crimson of varying sizes.
Great.
Those are some dangerous jars.
yeah, right. Careful
Well,
there.
I don't have a bag, so it needs to go in one of your 2 bags.
Could go in Nana's
Roshan
bag.
with the
She's-
weapons and a bag full of water crimson.
And a crutch.
He's the caddy.
do.
Lady.
It makes him sturdier as a crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gives him some weight.
Yeah. Some counterbalance.
All right, now we can go forward.
So Fen dug down deep for his affection and loyalty to Nana, and he got a 19 to strength. So
Okay.
Power of friendship.
yeah.
You can do this for a finite amount of time, you know.
Yeah.
This is not something you can do forever, but for now, you are able to carry Nana and move forwards. And you go in the direction of Keld. Keld, you stand before an effigy of yourself. You have to prove your worth and display who you are and why you deserve to be here upon this creation of your own body, this piece of art that is supposed to represent you. Can you tell me what you do?
Yeah. I think killed. This, I guess, seems normal to him at this point.
Yeah.
So he's
It
gonna
may not
take
seem
his-
normal, but Keld knows that
Or like, yeah,
this is important.
there's something
whether that's
intuitive
right or
to it.
wrong. Yeah, it is important.
Nice. So he's gonna take his pot off his back and put it down. Just start taking stuff out of it and putting whatever he doesn't want into the bag of holding. And I think firstly he'll don 2 sapphires on the effigy because it needs eyes.
Okay.
After that, he'll take some time to armor it up. He's gonna put the armor of gleaming on it. That as sort of a nod to sheltering the light.
Okay.
So once he's got the armor on it, he's going to give it he's gonna, I guess, put the pot on its back as he would carry it and put whatever ingredients he has on him in there.
Okay.
So that way it's got that, I guess, as a way to kindle the light by warming others and, a fire and a warm meal. And then lastly, he's going to give it his amulet of the indispensable. And that will be to be the light. So since that's kind of it's been his little aid, or at least that's what it was intended to be. So that'll be kind of like, I guess, an aid for this.
Okay. And is that the item that you found in the river?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you place, it takes time putting armor on something, as you know, takes time, especially something that doesn't move. That can come with its own pros and cons, but you take your time. There's no rush. Maybe there's a little rush in the back of your mind, but this is not something to rush.
Yeah.
As you make sure that the sapphires do not fall from this thing's head and that the pot will not clatter to the ground if there is a solid wind or a heavy snowfall. And you cover it with armor that will stay clean forever. And then you place ingredients into the pot. And you place this necklace gifted to you, this amulet gifted to you by the river, even if it did retaliate a little bit in the process. And before you take a step back, you start to step back to take a look at it. This effigy of yourself has 2 hands. Does it get to keep them?
I don't see why not.
Okay. He is blessed with 2 hands. And you are able to step back and look at your work. And by your work, I mean a lifetime of work. A lifetime of keeping an oath. A lifetime of protecting the light. And you stand in the darkest place you have ever stood. And you feel incredibly comfortable. But you haven't forgotten the light. Even though you can't see it, you know it's there. And that is represented heavily in your depiction of who you are. And you can take a moment to look at it. And you feel like you can keep moving. Unless there's something else you wanted to give it, any parting words or feelings or thoughts. But you feel like you are allowed to continue forward.
I think he'll just pat it on the arm as he goes past.
Okay. And you walk by, pushing forward, following twisting rivulets that your companions also walk past. All of you converging into the same space. The breaks in the canopy where the light once was become sparse and then non-existent. The air is heavy and thick, and there is an ever-present freezing, frigid fog on the edge of the tree line, allowing you passage. It almost feels like it is the path. And you could stray into the fog if you wanted. But so far, Keld, your intuition and your magic item that follows Keld stays neatly between where this fog chokes the trees. You have goosebumps on your arms, and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. All of you conscious. Feel these sensations. Keld, for you, these are more muted. The harshness of the forest is a bit muted for you. You can feel that it gets worse. But you're all right. And you push forward. The rest of your companions. You are aware of your hair brushing against the skin of your face or the back of your neck. You can feel your blood pounding through your ears. You can hear the creak of your bones with each step. You are trudging through every mistake you have ever made. Your bodies are heavy with regret, and you are choked with desperation. It is trudging. It is difficult. It feels as if you trek through your own mind disguised as trees and streams. The trees, your sins and your faults. The streams, the lies you have told and the blood you have spilt. Every shifting shadow is a missed opportunity, and it passes you by as you continue forward. Every snapping twig is a scorned friend that you left behind. And as you push through this, that moment felt like a dream. You blink and you are in the woods and it is horrible, and your skin feels wet and cold and your mind is dizzy, but you are able to push forward and understand that you are being so heavily affected by the world around you. I need the four of you to roll me wisdom saving throws.
Am I still unconscious?
Yeah, you're unconscious at this moment.
Cool. Mm.
Oh, but it's only fair, isn't it? It happens while you're sleeping, doesn't it? Oh, give me a wisdom saving throw, Nana.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, Fen.
16.
Okay. Roshan.
11.
Nyx.
That should be 15. Yeah.
Okay. And Nana.
8.
Okay. Nana, we are going to give you back. What do we want to give you back? First, let's talk about Roshan. Roshan, it is hard to keep focus as you push through into the woods. You have disadvantage on all intelligence checks. Oof. That's rough. But thinking is becoming a chore in and of itself. Nana, if you were conscious, you would be having the effects of the jitters coming back to you, being easily frightened. You have disadvantage
fun.
on initiative rolls.
Okay.
Then as you push forward, you do have to sometimes like try and maneuver an arm as you must scratch at your skin again. Any hit points regained through non-magical means are halved. As you push forward, Nyx, not a problem. It's everything else that's a problem. This doesn't need to be a problem for you, and it currently isn't. And as you push forward, all of you feel this sensation. It's like being on a stage. This place in the brushwood, everything is watching you. Every piece, every inch, every thought of the brushwood is watching you as you make your way forward. I would say with some of your passive perceptions, you can hear movement in the distance. Something else is moving through the woods. The ring, Nyx, when you look at it, it is pointing in the direction of the sounds, but you cannot see what it is. But something is there. Is there anything you'd like to do, or you're just walking at pace?
She's just gonna keep walking. Unless
Okay.
someone stops her.
I mean, the thing is, I think all of you have high enough passive perception to know that there is something ahead of you.
Should we try to catch him? Why are we dawdling back here? We can hear him up ahead, right?
If it's him, I think we should stay together. We can try and move faster, but Roshan will cast
Cast.
Expeditious Retreat using his
Okay.
sword.
I was like,
And-
that's the audacity.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sword! You didn't take that
Spells.
away.
The audacity of this man in my house. Okay.
How dare he?
And then can I hand it to Nyx to also Expeditious Retreat?
No.
Okay.
You
Well,
have to be
Hand has a
wielding the
sickle
sword.
in it. So
Yeah, you have to be
Yeah,
wielding to use the effect and keep it up. I'd say it has to
then
be on your person.
Roshan will help carry Nyx forward.
mm.
Be a more efficient crutch. Hi, Steppy.
Okay. Nyx, go ahead and give me dexterity. I'll take away your disadvantage, so it's just a straight roll to see if Roshan's actually able to speed you up at all.
I still have -5 to this. Okay.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
No, that's a net one, so no.
Okay.
Absolutely.
No. Roshan, pushing a disabled person does not help them walk faster, is what you are picking up on. You were
Then
kind of
Roshan
hoping it'd
will
be
slow
kind of
down.
like, you were hoping it'd be kind of like a sliding thing, and you're like, yeah, I got you, but Nyx is just not able to do the kind of speed you currently can.
Yeah.
I was gonna make Fen roll, but honestly, but he doesn't speed up at all. There's no reason. Unless Fen's like, bye, suckers, and is gonna try and like actually like cover ground ahead of the other two, or if he's staying with them.
No, I think Fen thought he'd be the one that set the pace. Like he's carrying Nana. He thought that his one foot in front of the other was going to be the pace that everybody moved at. If anyone wants to rush out in front, then that's on them.
Oh, they physically can't.
Yeah.
Well, Roshan could. He would just have to do it by himself.
Yeah. No, Fen is 1 foot in front of the other. He's not going to do anything that jeopardizes Nana's safety. That's he would very much like to reconnect with Keld, but he's not going to risk Nana for that.
Okay. And I'll do one kind if it even really matters in the end. Caleb, you can roll perception.
Roll a dice.
Roll that dice.
Let's percept.
Can we percept?
Yeah.
Probably not, but I'll get the code anyway.
We'll give it a shot.
That's a 3.
Oh, my guess was 4. I was close.
Wait, do I have? Let me look at my list of advantages.
Advantages.
No.
I mean, you'd get your advantage if you are actively thinking about finding these people. If that'd be a thought in your mind.
Unfortunately, I think he's focused on finding someone else.
Yeah.
Agreed. Because I would not say these are denizens of the forest.
No.
You push forward. I need everybody conscious, besides Nyx now, to give me, just roll me dex. Keld, I also need you to roll me dex. I believe
Just
you
a
get advantage on this, Keld.
Dexterity ability check.
Yes.
Just a
Yeah, just a
straight
dex check.
Okay.
Yep.
Dex check. Normal dex or saving?
Normal.
Normal. 17.
Everybody
13.
else? Mm-hmm.
17.
Okay, Keld is going to maintain pace ahead of you. I would have needed both of you to tie or beat to negate that nat 1.
I rolled so well.
So We're in a weird little spot narratively. So everything I described to you, Keld, the rest of you see moments later. That's what this currently is. So it's Keld perceiving it and pushing forward, and then you all will come forward and perceive it and push forward. That's kind of where we are. It's the best I can do for you in these trying times.
Good.
Or I could say the same thing twice and we could do that, but I think I'll do this. As you push forward, the streams converge. You watch them converge as they grow wider and wider and then become one. They run through a large, twisted root of a massive tree. It has dark, gnarled bark and a smattering of dark green leaves. There are recognizable, in most cases, and some not, bone and wood and rock and metal hanging from the branches, and they disjointedly chime as they sway in the wind. There are openings in the bark of this gigantic tree, like windows, dark, shadowed windows, at least 20 feet up. There are wooden structures, protrusions, built around this tree, adding on to it, more man-made presenting than natural. There are fabrics folded and knotted and twisted, attached to the branches and the roots and the bushes. The ones that are on the branches sway like flags. There's old clothes, dresses, cloaks, hung up on display. The only thing new about these weather-rotten pieces of fabric are new stitching holding them together. Some of it seems vaguely of a design, some of it not so much. As you move closer to this tree, briars like arches line the path. From some angles, these fabrics and foliages have very humanoid shape to them. Some of them you look at twice, and they remain that way. Some of them a trick of the eye. It's organic, unnerving art that lines this path that you walk. You see, the only issue, though, with these humanoid forms is that the limbs are too long. They don't resemble any humanoid you've met. The proportions are wrong. There's something unnatural about how they present. And where these bits of leaf or vine or fabric twist in the faces, every single one that resembles a mouth seems to be screaming. Every single one. Keld, you get to the base of the tree. And you watch as these streams that have converged disappear beneath it. And you see where they converge and go beneath. There is a door against the bark of the tree. It is an entrance to the hollow. Around you, there is nothing but the sound of footsteps and wind. Footsteps. You can hear footsteps behind you somewhere. The crunch of leaf and snow and root. But before you stands a home. What do? The sound of footsteps and a tree standing before you.
I think he'll look behind him to see if he can see anything approaching first.
Okay. You turn around, give me another perception check. Now that you are actively looking for this, you can have advantage.
What was that? Sorry.
Now that you are actively trying to perceive somebody else in the forest, you have advantage. Also, if there's somebody specific you wanted to try and see, you automatically can know if somebody is like where they are. if you are looking for a specific person.
I got a nat 20.
Oh,
Wow.
there's multiple entities in the woods moving in
Hmm.
your direction. It doesn't sound animal or monster.
I think I'll probably just refocus on the house.
Okay. Kel does not wait. What do you do? The house lies before you. Quiet. Incredibly quiet.
I think he's going to knock. That
Okay.
seems only polite, unless there's
It
like
does seem
something that
polite.
looks like a knocker or a bell.
Yeah. Is there a little bell?
Maybe she has a little bell.
Kel, do you walk up and you look for a knocker or bell? And you rap your knuckles against the door. And you can hear like a bit of an echo inside of these knocks, but nothing else.
There's not a back door.
You're welcome to check, but be a bit of a walk. The terrain around this thing is a bit intense. The roots of this thing are
Sounds like it.
massive.
Well, I guess I'll see if the door opens.
Okay. You reach for the door. With a gentle creak, it opens. It is dark inside.
I have a torch.
Sure.
We're gonna make some light and head in.
Okay. This does close the gap a little, but not enough. As Kel takes a moment to light a torch. Has to do a bit of finagling, but it's easy enough. Stab the torch into the ground. Figure it out.
Here it is.
You pick up the torch and you go inside. And a good portion of the space is illuminated, though the shadows are long and objects in the space block a lot of your vision. The air is stagnant and it is quiet. The type of quiet you can hear the pounding beginning in your ears as you stand in this space you've made your way in. And when you inhale, stale air coats your mouth and you feel it dry your throat. Wooden boards on the floor creak underfoot, and you can see wooden pillars inside for support. You can see that the floor is split by these snaking bournes, these converged rivulets that once again under the house spread back out. So the floor is split in multiple places by water. There is wooden furniture, dry in some places and rotten in others. On the visible roots on the inside, there is new growth, and there is also rot. From the new growth, you can see things beginning to spring and sprung from them, little saplings. And this is happening right next to withered ends. You see a variety of jars and dried items on the walls, on shelves. A couple of the jars that catch your eye for a second. You're unsure if it's the shadows from your torch or not, but you can see movement inside of some of the jars. You see supplies for cooking and gardening and woodworking, and they lay there dust covered. There are fabrics that are moth-eaten, and the metal is rusted, and the glass is opaque, and the clay is cracked. And there are shelves and tables that sit empty, unadorned, and covered in dry leaves and whatever else has fallen from the inside of this trunk. And it is once again you are brought to your attention the terrible quiet. And you take it in. There is a pause. And as you center and you try to focus, you hear a creak of wood inside of the home. And it draws your eyes to it like a magnet. In the far corner, a wooden rocking chair. Sitting, rigid, motionless, in a dry, shriveled remains of a nude woman's corpse. Paper-like skin hugging sharp bone, a concave stomach and protruding ribs, mouth agape and lips stretched thin, eyes hollow and deep and blown wide and unblinking. Dark cracks run across the skin of this pale body. Thinning, long black hair drapes the shoulders and knots within itself and against the sort of splintering wood of the chair that it sits in. This corpse sits silently, staring toward the door, unmoving. What do you do?
I'm sure first reaction is to be unnerved.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think he'll slowly, maybe just take a few steps closer.
Okay. Yeah, you can move closer. You take a step, is the creak of wood. And another step, the creak of wood. And the dry air becomes a bit too much in this moment as you keep your eyes on the corpse in front of you. And you
think
blink.
he's looking for any sort of sign of life.
Yeah, you scan the space. And inevitably you do blink as you have tried to keep your eyes open and alert. And when you blink, you hear a creak that does not come from your own feet, and your eyes quickly open and you see the chair is empty. And you see shadow moving on the other side of the room around a pillar. Welcome back, Chief Son. The same body, but visually a step further from the grave, now stands in the middle of the room, leaning against a support pillar. Her body is still pale and cracked with these large black, just kind of like, almost like a porcelain doll in a way, but the skin no longer looks brittle as it had when it was in the rocking chair. It is as if her flesh is now plump, as if blood now pumps through her veins, as if she is nourished by life. Her hair looks fuller and thicker and sways at her shoulder blades as she leans against the pillar. Her lips are full, and her mouth is equally as full of sharp, jagged teeth. Her eyes, still large and round, glow bright white like full moon staring at you. Oh, and what do we owe the honor? And she steps around the pillar. The disrespect. And this voice echoes through the space, cuts through the silence of the air. You see a towering shadow of a body now looms over you where she once stood. The body is tall and hunched, and the arms are long and hang slack in front of her. It's more animalistic in appearance, teeth larger, fingers sharp, hair black, long, and tangled around her shoulders. Her spine protrudes from her perpetually bent back. Her face is twisted in malice, but her eyes still burn as bright as they did just a second ago. And she waits for an answer. To what do they owe the honor and the disrespect of the return of the chief's son?
I mean, no disrespect. Does the light bother you? I can put it out.
There's a low grumble as this large figure takes a step and looms and watches you. In this moment, the light of the fire almost makes it more terrifying, you think. If only it were hidden from view. If only you didn't have to be perceiving it. And it watches you. And you blink. And the slender form is now before you again, running a hand over a dusty shelf. I know you don't. You don't mean any disrespect being here. I'm glad you're here. I'm very glad you're here. And it begins to slowly make its way. It doesn't come closer to you, but sort of keeps arching around the space and watching you. Oh, Chief Son, we don't have much time. What do you want from me?
Well, I believe I owe you thanks, but I have a request.
I know. And you blink. And a corpse sits in a rocking chair, unmoving, unblinking. And you are left with that quiet. And your torch is blown out. And you hear the creak of something large moving across the floorboards. You ask for too much, Chief Son. We have done much for you. Presumptuous thing. Tiny thing. What would you ask?
So he's going to explain the curse that his sister is suffering.
As you begin to explain, we are aware.
Is this your doing?
You watch as this large hunched form kind of looks back like it's almost looking for something, conferring. The eyes turn to you bright. Why would I not? What is your request, Chief Son? We pull you from death twice, and she showers you with gifts. And you can see the malice and contempt on this thing's face. This, whatever you are looking at now, does not hold any love for you. We know of this curse, and I am content with where it sits.
And why is that? For some reason, you gave me life. What's the difference between me and my sister? Why is she not deserving of your gift?
A large hand grips the pillar in the center and pushes past as the smaller figure comes back into the space, this smaller feminine form. Well, Chief Son, we work in deals. We listen to the forest and all of its denizens. You were always So kind. A kind young thing, dancing through the woods and talking to the leaves and the spiders. It was hard not to. The chief made his trek and he made his deal. That is concluded. That has its outcome. I cannot take that back unless something were for it, of course, but I think we benefit from where that sits. And she begins to walk and pace, stopping before getting to the pillar and going back again. But that is not the only deal I have ever made. I had no reason to take that one back. The deal was fair. Are you here to offer me a fair trade, chief son?
If I can.
By all means, I am happy to talk to you. Some not so much, but me, I am quite content.
I'm happy to hear that.
But the more eyes, the harder it is to maintain focus between you and I. The more bodies in the room. Though they did offer deals. That is... You came all this way, chief son. Why not? Why not let you choose? In a space that is mine, I'll let you make choice. You can give me your deal now, and I may hear it, and maybe we will be content with the outcome. Or you can allow them entry, and I will hear what they have to give instead.
I'd prefer if it was just you and me.
That's so sweet, chief son. I just want it to be us two. You are mine, after all. So it should just be us. I like that, I think. Let me confer. And you are then presented once again with a creak of a rocking chair as a corpse lays still and staring. And you are standing quiet in this home, but he can hear the approach of your companions. There is a way to bar the door. Do you bar it?
Yeah. We're gonna shut that.
Okay. Keld, you walk over and bar the door. And a shadow looms behind you. What say you, chief son? Heavy footsteps now making their way past this threshold that it had not passed before. What say you? What could you possibly trade? What could be worth it?
Well, first, I need to know, how am I yours? To what end?
You stare at this large entity with its bent back, and the disgust on its face grows. You are not mine, though in the sense that you walk through my forest, and you breathe my air, and you see what you are meant to see in the shadows. I suppose you are mine in that sense. And it straightens up a little and makes its way a bit away from you. Never gets within like 10 feet, stays in this path. A deal was struck. Your life was given by your father, the chief, and you were the trade. You belong to the forest, even if it doesn't want you. While Keld is having his conversation with the forest, the rest of you arrive at the base, staring up at this large tree where the rivulets have converged beneath, and you see a door. And you swear you could see the flickers of light inside for a moment from a distance, and then those are gone. What is this group doing?
Roshan will ask Nyx, is he in there?
Pointing that way. I think so.
Well, let us not keep our host waiting. Roshan will go knock on the door politely.
The second polite knock of the evening.
Hmm.
Before the forest can respond, Keld, further, or you can, you hear a knock behind you.
Such a pleasant knock.
And you turn your head to look and then look back, and then the more slender, full of life form, the less twisted one, watches. Well,
Well, if I belong to this forest, I also belong to my community. I still belong to Dim Woods. And I want to keep whatever relationship my father's been keeping with the forest. I want to at least maintain that.
I see the grandpots have been kind, haven't they? They all have been quite respectful. Though it has been a long time since one has stepped into my home. Roshan, there's no response to the door knock. You can hear talking inside, though.
Then he will knock a little bit more insistently if he hears talking.
Yeah, maybe a little louder this time.
Maybe they didn't hear us.
Like full
A
force.
little less polite and a little more, hello.
Dun 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 dun.
Impatient, I see. Why not let them make deals then?
This doesn't necessarily concern them.
Well, I suppose that's true, but one of them was quite insistent enough to reach out, request passage through the forest, and said that deals could be struck. Now, if you have a deal that outdoes every other deal behind that door, Chief Son, but once again, you are mine. I'm not sure what else you could give me. You could try to think of something. I haven't seen you in so long, and you're hard to reach when you're past the forest.
Mm.
I'm truly honored that my gift made it onto the effigy of you. What an important place for it to sit.
That was from you?
Oh. Well, you were gone. How could I protect you if you were gone? And so I'd bring what I could when you were near the water. I tried to see you when I could. I don't think you were coming back. There's only one reason you came back. And you can see that her face twists a bit from that almost loving expression to a bit of contempt as well. But it pulls back. The amount they could offer is tempting, Chief Son. It's so incredibly tempting. Roshan, nobody's answering this door. Team, nobody's answering this door.
I think he'll look at them and say, I can hear them in there, and then try the doorknob or handle.
Yeah, you try to open the door. It seems like it is blocked in some way.
I think he'll just then shout from the other side of the door, "Hello? We'd like to speak with whoever resides here. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty." Except that part was just a little yoke.
Just a hee hee ha ha, I swear.
He's like, finally.
My card's
Held.
extended warranty.
You glance back as Roshan makes a plea for some entry. And you look back into that looming shadow moving past the pillar. We could tear you apart and stitch you together and keep you here so she is content. And that would be a deal already made for you to stay and dance and entertain and make her happy.
So
But a little,
could also extend an invitation to her. I didn't know that's what she wanted.
Chief Son. What is your deal? Or open the door and let them in, and you can fight for my approval. You can fight to save her. Or we can all watch it happen together. You, Chief Son, currently stand alone in quite the privileged position. You stand here. And she motions towards the rocking chair, and your eyes follow. And you watch as the slender body walks towards it. You have the privilege right now, Chief Son. You are speaking with life, and then the silent thing that sits on the rocking chair fills in the space of death. And as you blink once more, a looming shadow stands before you. Life, death, and every miserable, tearing thing in between. You've been given the honor of seeing it. So either present your deal or open the door.
Eld's going to look towards the rocking chair.
You see it currently sits empty.
Okay.
You never see any of these entities at the same time.
So the only one I see right now is the big looming one.
Yeah, that's the one you currently see. That's the one that seems to, of the group, one of them, it's kind of hard to guess its opinion. This one does not seem to like you.
Mm-hmm.
And that is made apparent.
I would like to make her happy. He's referring to the other one.
Okay.
So if you would have it, I'd like to invite her to join us once every full moon for a night for time in the light with our community. There's always dancing and singing and drink. It's usually a good time.
I am not incredibly shocked that you only appeal to life. Roshan, nobody's answering this door. You're getting the feeling that nobody's gonna open it.
Well, I think it would be incredibly rude to knock or push down the door. Does anyone else have any good ideas? I think it's Keld in there.
Just call. Keld, are you in there? It's like going up to the door.
Ben takes a knee and just sets Nana down. Oh, gods.
I'm assuming I'm
Just-
still unconscious.
Yeah,
At this point.
Yeah, and Ben is just creaking out the aches of having carried Nana.
From the
Wondering
thick
how
with 3 C's and a QS.
wondering how the fuck that that Gorbjorn did this with Ave for so long.
Mm-hmm. Keld, you hear Nyx call out.
Going
Well.
to focus on the figure.
Yeah.
I apologize. I don't mean to leave death out of it.
Mm.
Do you give me a minute to confer with my friends? I'm sure there's something we can offer you as well.
Know this, Chief Son. We are beings that work with the individual. I do not want some metaphorical group friendship deal from you and your ragtag bastards wandering the woods. I will listen to your current deal. Nights of enjoyment for a piece of the brushwood. You will not speak of your deal when that door opens. Is that understood, Chief Son?
Yes.
Good. Open it. She wants to see her anyways.
Keld will unbar the door.
And Keld stands before you as he opens the door. And Nyx, you stare into fog-covered eyes, the same that Russ had as Keld beholds you in the doorway. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Oh boy.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you guys a story. If you want to see more of that story, you can head over to youtube.com/thedicecult and watch past episodes of On the Backs of Gods and other games and what have you. See if there's something that suits your fancy. If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to keep up with all of us, we are at The Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. If you go to the chat or the link below, you can get some beautiful dice.
Dice that want to kill the character that they're modeled after canonically. It's okay.
I mean,
they tell a
certainly want to
story.
kill Nana. That seems to be apparent.
Everything wants to kill Nana.
That's just kind of what it is.
Theme of the show.
There you go.
Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it, and we love telling you a story. And I think we can get back to this hag-based one next time. We will be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you guys then. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us,
Good night,
cultists.
everyone.